Welcome back to the Paper Flourish craft videos. My name is Julie and we're working on a card today, continuing on with our Lavinia Male Cards series. I've brought along the rather proud Ash. Beautiful, fantastic stamp. So we've got Ash here today. He's going to be the main feature of our card. The pod stencil as well, we'll be using that. This is a fantastic tree stamp. Not a whole tree, is it? But it's a great one to pop on your card when you don't want the tree to take up too much room on the card. So we're going to use that one today as well, and the Heartfelt verses. So let me pop those to the side. You've just heard Murphy climbing around. Where are you, Murphy? You right, Murph? There we go. He's okay. He's just climbing and knocked some stencils flying in my craft room. There we are. He might be back later on. I think he's just run out. There we go. All right. So I've got, but he is fine. I've got my piece of white Multifarious card. This is around about a quarter, again, of an A4 piece. It's a pretty good size. It'll fit into your, when you make up your card, it'll fit into your standard size envelope. So A4, your white Multifarious card, we're going to start with just a faint stenciled background. So I've got the pod stencil, placing it over the top. We might go somewhere like that. And I'm thinking of going in the blues, so Stormy Sky. I'm going to get my Lavinia stencil brush, the larger size. Some Stormy Sky Distress Oxide on there, and I'm just going to stencil lightly the whole card. Don't want to go too heavy. Just want to have, I want to have the stenciling in the background but not taking over the card. Take that away and see how it looks. There we go. So we've got our stencil background for our card. I've always really liked this pod stencil. It makes a very interesting, varied background. Okay, we'll pop that to the side. I'm going to give that a quick dry. It's not too wet. I've only lightly done it, but I still, because I'm going to be stamping straight away, it's always a good idea to give that Oxide a quick dry off. Right, so that's our background for our card. Right, I'm going to stamp the moon. So this is the moon stamp, and I like to stamp this. I don't want to stamp it too heavy. So I want it to be there, but I don't want it to be taking over the card. So I'm going to stamp it into the top corner, top right corner of the card, and I'm going to stamp it with Morning Mist Versafine Clair, which is a grey ink. So you'll get the, your moon will be there, but it won't be as dark as if you stamped it with your Nocturne. Whoops. And let's stamp that up into the top corner of the card. Hold it down for a moment just to let the ink settle into the card. So that was Morning Mist Versafine Clair. There we go. See how it's the grey, but not as dark as if you'd done it with the black. So we've got our moon on the card. Now the next thing I'm going to do is stamp Ash. Here he is. And let's bring Ash out. Now I might stamp Ash on the stamp press, just so that we get a really nice dark strong image, so that I've got that chance to stamp a second time if it doesn't quite turn out right the first time. So I'm going to position Ash into the bottom left corner of the card. Pick that up. So this time I am going to use the Nocturne, the black Versafine Clair, and get a really good strong image. So I hope you're finding this mail card series useful. I said so many Lavinia stamps can be used for mail cards. All right, I'm just going to stamp him again. I can see some of the stenciling coming through there, so, and I missed a little bit down the bottom, so let's give it a second go. And that's stamped better. Oh, I managed to get a little bit up the top, that's all right. Okay, let's pop that to the side. So we've got ash, we've got our moon, and now I'm going to bring in the tree stem. So ash is looking up towards the moon. I'm planning on having the tree stem over just on the side of the card here. I'm going to use one of the Lavinia acrylic plates. I'm going to go with the really long one. There's a longer one again. These come in all different shapes and sizes, but I find the narrower plate, when you've got a thin stamp like this, the narrower plate gives you a lot of control over that stamp. Let's go with Pinecone, dark brown, Versafine Clair. So Pinecone, let's ink that up. And we're going to stamp that onto the right side of the card. Hold it down again for a moment. There we are. That's stamped really, really well. And that's, I've stamped that after the moon, so that way the moon's in the background and the tree stem is more forward. So I'm not going to do a lot. So the male cards, I tend to keep them a lot simpler than, say, we might do with some of the female cards. We've got our fairies and flowers and glitter, everything. You can see a little bit of stenciling is coming through. The Oxide ink was quite wet still behind ash. Again, if I was doing this card, if I wasn't doing it on the video, I would do the stenciling and maybe just leave it for an hour or two, let it completely dry, and then do my stamping. All right, so what should we do next? Sentiment. We're going to go with birthday wishes this time. And I think I might pop this. I might just pop it up the top, I think. I think that would work best there rather than down here. Let's pop it up there. Now I'm just going to do this as well in the black, in the Nocturne, Versafine Clair. There we go. And pop that up in the top corner. Hold it down for a moment. And there's our sentiment. All right, now I'm going to get Faded Jeans, which is just a slightly darker shade than your Stormy Sky. And I'm going to use this to stencil around the card edges. So let's bring it in that little bit darker around the card edges. I might go with the smaller stencil brush here, the sort of the middle size one. See how it's a darker blue, but they look really, really good together, these colours. So we're just going to bring that, I'm just going little circles around the edge. You can see more is going onto the paper than it is onto the card, but it's just leaving that dark border right around the edge of the card. If I wanted to go darker again, I could have gone with Chip Sapphire. That would tone in really well with these, but I thought the Faded Jeans would be a nice blue to add in. Changes the whole look though, doesn't it, when you bring in that darker colour around the edge. And around. Around. All right. So now we've got our dark border, which I think always finishes off the card nicely. So we've got our moon, we've got our tree stem, we've got ash. I think I'm going to add some Posca dots to finish this off, and I might even add a little bit of colour onto the tree here, onto the vines going around the tree. I'm going to bring in a little bit of silver. Let's add some silver to those, silver Posca. Just add a little bit of shimmer into the card without overdoing it. And a couple more here as it's going up into the moonlight. There we are. As I said, it's there, just a little bit of metallic on the card without overdoing it. And then, this is rather a nice Posca. This is called Slate Grey. So I think I might add just some Posca dots around the card with Slate Grey. Just a few. Just lightly touching it. You don't push down, of course, with a Posca, or the paint will come out. I'm not overdoing it, just adding a few, just as a bit of a background filler. And I think that might do us. So this is our next card with our Male series, Ash. I hope you've enjoyed that. Have a wonderful day, everyone. And I'll be back soon with lots more crafting and lots more cards and things to share with you. Have a fantastic afternoon. Thank you. Bye-bye.